Let's analyze together the most popular stocks of Wall Street today. Let's go with Enrique because we have very breaking news with a strategy, MSTR stock. Let's analyze it together.
Let's see what's going on. Remember to read the disclaimer in the description below. Subscribe to TradingHT. MSTR is exploding right now, up 23%, even more, 24% while we're recording this, after bouncing hard off from that key maybe support zone of $104 from 323% of year to date in 2024 to minus 49% year to date percentage in 2025. Right now in the year to date percentage is minus 16%. But is this the bottom? Is this an opportunity? What do you think about it? What do Wall Street analysts think about it? We will see all the forecast in this video also. And also the RSI and MACD levels are screaming oversold. But is this the rebound? Is this opportunity or a bear trap? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and let's get started with this stock.
Yeah, let's analyze directly the breaking news that we have right here on the screen. Right now, MicroStrategy or strategy stock, a key Bitcoin holder. Let's actually analyze how many Bitcoins they have, because last time I checked, they had like something like 200,000. And right now, wow, it's insane. They have 700,000 Bitcoins. It's like they never sell. It's very surprising for me. From a strategy, for being like a strategist in that sense, normally it's better to, in my opinion, of course, to sell, some Bitcoins when it's making new highs again and again and again, and then buy Bitcoins back after a huge crisis like the one we are experiencing right now. But in this case, apparently they don't do that. They just accumulate Bitcoins like hell, which is very interesting.
Yeah, and also today, Bitcoin almost touching that level of $70,000 again. Very interesting, bouncing. All the market seems to be in green, at least we're going to the stocks that we're going to talk about in this video, and also in the crypto market, crypto sphere. So maybe it is also related. We don't know it exactly, but in the previous video, we commented like the chart, the pasted chart of Bitcoin in MicroStrategy Inc. and also with other stock with Hood, we compared it, and the correlation was there, at least in some key moments. So right now, will the Bitcoin uptrend continue? Will it lead this type of stocks to higher territories? And what could happen if Bitcoin stops again and starts to go to lower levels? If they are holding all those Bitcoins and buying even more, I would suppose like the price would be even more related than other stocks, So what is your strategy, MicroStrategy Inc., if that happens with Bitcoin?
And remember the theory here that is actually what is happening again and again and again. Bitcoin price, it has like less volatility than the strategy. So right now Bitcoin is up 11%. MicroStrategy or strategy is also benefiting from it because right now it's up 24%. So it's a more volatile asset. At the same time, the market cap is not the same. It's not measured in trillions, but in billions. So obviously we are not, talking about the same thing. But as it's super related to Bitcoin price, and you can clearly see right here that they MicroStrategy revised its 2025 earnings forecast, now predicting a profit of 6.3 billion to a loss, of 5.5 billion, down from 24 billion due to poor Bitcoin performance. It's very related to the Bitcoin price. Right now, Bitcoin is making new lows, not today, but yesterday and in the weeks before. But the situation is the situation that we have. It's a crypto asset right now, this stock, but also we have debt, we have other aspects as well, and they pay dividends. So we also have to take into account that.
Yeah. So being that said, let's read the headlines that we have right here from the key updates. The latest updates of this stock, very related to what we have just commented. You can also pause the video and read it by yourself. But I think it's very interesting to see, like, being despite holding billions in cryptocurrency, this could also limit like its ability to finance new purchases or refinance effectively. And that's why what we mentioned, like the company is now like a Bitcoin holder, we could say, at least from the information that we have. So what could happen in a bad territory for the cryptosphere?
They never sell, but also it could be a good thing as long, as the Bitcoin continues to go up. Remember, guys, that when we have a crypto crisis, not a crypto winter, but a crypto crisis, it's like the performance of Bitcoin can be very, very dramatic, of minus 80%, minus 75. So this stock could drop to minus 90%. So this is the worrisome situation with this stock. But at the same time, when we have a bullish trend, this stock overperforms the whole market, So we have this yin and yang thing. We had to think about when to buy, because for the long term, we have a lot of people that love Bitcoin around the world, in all America, South America as well, North America, Europe, many users worldwide buying Bitcoin. So obviously there is a good thing right there, and the product, the product that they're buying, it's there, as a cash reserve or something like that, as a gold, This is the thing that, that is behind the Bitcoin thing.
Yeah, being this said, let's go with the seasonal information that we have right here, seasonal statistics. Very interesting data. I'm watching the years since 2000, let's put it since 2019, for example. I think that's enough data. And you can clearly see mixed ideas. You have 3 years in the negative territory, being the worst 2022 with minus 74% in the year-to-date perspective, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the positive territory, not counting, of course, 2026 yet, because it is still in the negative territory, even though today it has gone up 24%. And take a look at 2020, 2024, and 2023. Wow, an upside of more than 160%, 320%, and 330%. I don't know what was Bitcoin doing during those years, if that was also bullish, but this is, like what many investors are looking for in this stock, these huge results, because if Bitcoin goes higher, of course, the market cap of Bitcoin is way higher than this stock, so the percentages of this stock moving to the upside would be even higher than those. But if it crashes, and that's what we mentioned also, and you were watching it during other years and other moments in this stock, the percentage of this stock would be also higher. So that's the risk reward right there. The reward is higher, but the risk is higher also.
Exactly. I look at the performances right here. When you compare that with Bitcoin on the crypto industry, there again, it's happening the same thing. In 2022, it was a bad year for Bitcoin. And these last 2 years, 2025 and just this year, 2026, we are having, bad performance as well. So there is a huge reflection of the Bitcoin price action. And look at what happened back in 2024 and 2023. This is what I was talking about. You buy a stock that is crypto related, that is Bitcoin related, and when Bitcoin is making new highs, the performance of this stock is even better. So obviously, if you buy it at the right time, as it's more volatile with a less market cap, that you can benefit, from that performance of Bitcoin.
Wow, very interesting stock. So feel free to share all the feedback about it in the comment section below. Anything you want to add from the fundamentals, from the technicals. It's a very interesting stock. Also from the technical side, I wanted to mention we had this level at $104 more or less that was being traded during May 2024 and also during August of that same year, with two very clear bounces from there, then breaking this kind of parallel channel right here and creating new highs from there. And now the price has reached that level again, and it has bounced with a lot of strength. So the question is, will it continue to higher territories from here, or will this time break this support, the kind of support level? Because the last time it bounced from here, it was in an uptrend. Now, is it still in this uptrend or not? What do you think?
So let's analyze the next video. Let's analyze SMX stock.
Let's go with that. All right. So very interesting stock. Also, you can see right there the picture. Is this situation? What's going on? This stock has just exploded more than 100% to around $18 in this single day. Right now it's at 17. While we're recording this video, it is changing like crazy. After crashing, here this number, guys, minus 98.65% in 2024. And minus 99.96% in 2025. Wow, completely insane. what is going on with this stock? Is this a dead cat bounce or real upside potential from this $3 low, more or less? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and let's go into this one.
Let's analyze the breaking news of SMX stock. Will it be a dead cow bounce? We don't know yet, but the breaking news are there, and you can clearly see that we have very important news. I would say it's good. We are talking about that SMX extends its capital runway into 2028, and this line of credit agreement increased to 250 million. That's a very important. This is very important because we're talking about that the company will survive for another 22 months. Remember, guys, for those who don't know the company, this stock, is like it's a holding company which engages in the provision of authentication solutions. It offers brand protection, authentication, and track and trace technology. So I would say the service they provide is good, but if you go to the semi-annual income statement, it's very clear that the company is not in a very good position. They are making losses every time since January 2024. And right now we have very deep losses, So it's something that I don't like when I invest in a stock. Like a company that is in losses, if it doesn't rebound, if they don't transform the losses into profits, you can get very stuck, stuck in the sense that you can lose a lot of money, and eventually can even go to bankruptcy.
Yeah, and let's go to the chart because I want to comment like all the stock splits that have occurred during the last years. As you mentioned, since 2024, the first one was in 2023 indeed. And you can see right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stock splits, The first one was 1 to 22, the second one 1 to 75, the third one 2 to 57, 10 to 41, 1 to 7. So different ones, with the stock splits. But when you see this type of situations, it's because something is going on. Many investors tend to see this like a bad signal, and also from the technical side, that's what you can clearly see in this chart, at least from those from that long period. Now we have this kind of different situation for now with that bounce. So we have to wait and see if it is, as we mentioned, a dead cat bounce, or if it is like a real upside opportunity. What do you think, guys? Because with this type of stocks, it's very, very difficult to predict and to know what's going on. But what's for sure is like the volatility is insane. And, it's not for everyone. Well, trading is not for everyone in general, but this type of stocks are even more dangerous because 100% in one day, wow, it can double an account, but it can also blow one account if the risk is not managed properly.
Yeah, we saw it many times. Enrique and I, stocks like this, we analyze them. What usually happens is like they enter into bankruptcy. They eventually do it because look at that. Back in May 2023. Look at the price that it has, that it had at that time. Obviously, it wasn't the real price at that time, but after all these stock splits, now this is the reality. So they are using the stock split thing in order to, survive. And this is not good, and I don't see anytime soon a way to enter into profits. It's like we don't even have a Wall Street analyst covering this stock, The last, remember guys, the last 6 months, in terms of revenue was like a negative net income of minus 23 million. And the previous one, it was minus 20. So this is not good, and I don't see that they're going to change this anytime soon.
Yeah, being this said, we are not bearish, we are not bullish either. We are just stating like the information that we have. This is just our own opinion, not financial advice. So do your own research, and please share in the comments below your feedback about this stock and also the others. We want to know what do you know about them and how do you see the current situation. And wow, in this case, we have many levels in the technical side that could be commented. And when I see this type of downtrends, it's like when you invert the chart, you have that option here in TradingView platform.
I just use it.
You tend to see like, wow, this is a beautiful uptrend, and you see that very clear. But with
buy
the downtrends,
and hold.
yeah, with the downtrends, it's different. It's like something related to psychology. Like it's easier to spot the uptrends than the downtrends. Like to say, it's easier to buy and hold than to close the losing positions, and that's something that I suffered myself, trading.
Yeah, but when in doubt, inverse the chart. And if you see that it's bullish, probably you should invest it for the long term. At least you should change the strategy, and instead of buying the stock, you should sell the stock. But you have to analyze it well, and it also depends on the fundamentals. Because at the end of the day, the price action tends to follow the fundamentals. And you can see that why is Nvidia making new highs every time? Because Nvidia is making 22 billion of net income. It's insane. So that's the reason the stock is making new highs.
Wow, so very interesting stock. Let us know everything you have about it. Let's go with the next one. Let's go with Robinhood markets.
Let's actually analyze Robinhood markets right now. Wow, we have breaking news in Robinhood. The third quarter, let's analyze it together. Robinhood markets revealed that cryptocurrency trading made up 20% of its revenue, earning 268 million. That's a huge amount. What we're gonna mention right now, an increase of 339%. From the in comparison to the previous the quarter of the same quarter last year. So I would say in Europe you can trade cryptocurrencies with Robinhood, but you cannot trade the stocks with them. This is very interesting, and this is probably one of the reasons why they are growing so much in the crypto industry.
Yeah, and we made a video very recently about this stock, and from the price action perspective, we can clearly see like the situation has changed at least a little bit, because today is in the green territory, almost 14% to the upside while we're recording this video, and in the last one it was completely crashing, minus 13% if I'm not mistaken. And you can see like the price has apparently bounced from that kind of support level. Let me draw it very fast in the daily time frame since August 2024, touching the lower levels of 2025, and around, let me move the text right there, around 70 something dollars it broke to the downside, to the lower side, and it then bounced back to the upside of this kind of support line. So was this a false breakout? Was the real support area around $70, or is this maybe this isn't a support in your opinion? Maybe this is continuing to the lower side. So from the technical side, how do you see, is this downtrend that started at the end of October, at the start of October, ended, or it is continuing?
Yeah, we also have the Tree Securities has lowered its price target for Robinhood, from $155 to $130. Let's analyze the forecast, Enrique, in order to assess this impact, because $130 right now, from current levels, we're talking about that is actually an increase of 70%, 65%. Still, it's bullish if you buy it right now.
Yeah, very interesting. We have 21 Wall Street analysts offering 1 year price forecast for this stock. The maximum 180, an upside of more than 118%. The average 80%, 148, so around those latest highs more or less. And the minimum $90, so a little bit higher from this level, 9%. And about the EPS, what do you have to say about it, Alvaro?
Well, we have an increase in the EPS every quarter, maybe not for the next 3 ones after the last one of 2025, but still, they are not losing. This is important. As long as you hold the gains, and there is no reason to think that the stock should go down anytime soon. So this is very important. It's like the expectations right here is that for 2025, they're going to increase the EPS, and for the next year, it's going to increase the EPS as well for another 0.50. So this is very important. They are growing, not so fast, but they are growing, and this is key when you are investing for the long term.
Yeah, and also remember, we have the earnings and revenue very, very soon, apparently next week, the Tuesday, 10th of February. And, you have the estimate right there, as we mentioned. What do you think is happening? Do you think it will be positive surprise factor, negative, and how could that affect the current situation in the market? Because from the technical side, it just reached this type of support area that a lot of technical traders maybe were looking to. And from the fundamental, if it's good, also it could lead to a good opportunity. But if not, the also could be the different scenario could also be true. So in trading, anything is possible. How are you preparing for those scenarios?
And look at the daily chart with the indicators of the RSI and MACD, Enrique. We're talking about oversold territory, and this is one my favorite entries. It's like when you see the oversold territory in the daily chart, Even in the weekly, let's take a look at it. The weekly is a little bit more difficult because the stock is, it's kind of new. Is what even the IPO was 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So, but still, the daily chart is beautiful. This signaling like a very good buying opportunity for the long term. Remember, guys, in order to buy a stock in this situation, it has to be in profits at least. It's like you see that they are making less net income every quarter, and you see this. That's not a good signal. But when they're making new and better profits every quarter, and you see this signal, that's the opportunity for the long term, And this is actually what happened. You see the data, with the RSI, for instance, back in March 2025, they hit that oversold territory. You bought the stock right there, and you got a performance of, let's take a look, more than 300%. You do the same back in August 2024, and again, you can get a huge performance from that particular level, almost 1000%. So it's all about the long-term perspective, but at the same time, for me, the most difficult question is when to sell that position.
Yeah, and also, will it happen again or not? Because apparently in the past, it completely worked right there. But, the past performance doesn't indicate future results. But also, as Alvaro mentioned, it's important to know when to enter stocks. In particular, to have your own trading strategies, but based on something reliable, because in this type of stocks, you can clearly see when the profits are there, the technical side is also accompanying, and like people are starting to buy that stock. The best moments are after those crashes, but also it's difficult to say because many stocks start to crash and they continue to do so. So if you choose the good ones, it's a good opportunity right there.
Exactly. So now, Enrique, let's analyze the next stock. We have CleanSpark.
Let's go with CleanSpark. Very interesting. Also, we have this compilation of stocks, all in green, as we mentioned. A very bullish day today in the markets. We have the key facts right there, the latest updates. Let's start with the first one, Alvaro.
Let's read the key facts today for CleanSpark. Right now, they are redirecting cash from Bitcoin mining to long-term infrastructure projects to boost shareholder value, maintaining a strong balance sheet, with a significant cash and Bitcoin assets. This is very important, because they are following a different approach. When you compare this with a strategy stock, with MSTR, because MSTR is like it's a buy a whole thing with debt, with everything, they just put everything on Bitcoin. That's it. That's the strategy. So to speak. But with CleanSpark, it's like they are trying to find like a clean way to make profits. So here the strategy is different.
All right, so it seems like a more neutral option, like in that sense. So guys, how do you see that? And also, let's read the next one. We have Cardano Capital keeps a buy rating for CleanSpark, lowering its price target from $30 to $16. So it keeps the buying option, but way lower, like cut half. And Cantor Fitzgerald also cuts its target from $21 to $17. This is just the key information. Later, we will update the complete forecast.
Exactly. And then we have, they expanded its AI infrastructure and power capacity by securing up to 890 megawatts of new utility-grade power in Texas and Georgia, aiming to diversify its revenue streams. The strategy is different, as you know. It's like they are trying to get a new sort, some sort of new cash flow, and this is relevant. But also at the same time, we have to take a look at the net income because obviously this is the vision that they have. But the situation is not good. Actually, the last quarter was horrible, minus 378 million of net income. This is a very negative impact. So you compare the data to the previous quarters they have, for instance, between 2021 and 2022. At that time, the net income was like a minus 14 million, minus 26, minus 42, but minus 378 million. That's a huge negative net income, so the losses are huge, but still the stock is holding surprisingly.
Yeah, from the technical side, as you mentioned, it seems to be holding. And where did it bounce? Wow, so it respected that support level that was being created since 2023, bouncing many times, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now this could have been the 7th if it continues to go higher. in this kind of uptrend, you know, and also in the highest part of this kind of uptrend, we have a very clear resistance area around $23. The times that this level got hit, the price completely crashed from there. The first time, minus 72% until it hit this line in the lowest part, and then the second time, minus 64%, leading to this current moment. So will this time that higher level be reached again? Will it continue to go lower as it happened in the past and reach this level again? Or will it break this support area? How do you see the current technical side, guys?
Well, those who don't know it, you know, its operation includes CleanSpark, Norcross, Washington, Centerville, Dalton, and Massena. So now let's go to the forecast, Enrique, to analyze in detail. The forecast right now, it was lowered to 16.17 and dollars per share. Right now, the average that we have here is 20. With all these 40 analysts from Wall Street. And this is very interesting because overall, they are super bullish. Look at the strong buy signals that we have, 13.
Yeah, and only one buy, all in the bullish territory, we could say. And the minimum estimate also is positive, you know, like $14, even 40% from current prices. So very, very interesting. And also from the EPS, you can see in the annual, I want to mention that, look at 2029.
Wow. That's huge. I mean, if it happens,
you know, wow, they expect huge performances, you know, negative territory in 2026, negative in 2027, but then in 2028 almost 4.6, and then in 2029 more than 19. So very interesting. We will see what happens. We have to wait a little bit to see that date yet, but very interesting with that forecast, with that time frame, with that technical side. What is your opinion, guys? Do you agree with this forecast, or do you have a different ideas behind it? And also, do you think Bitcoin price could affect in a higher way this stock if it continues to go lower, as it happened with MSTR or other similar stocks? Or is this one different, as we mentioned earlier, because they are kind of diversifying with other strategies? How do you see that?
Maybe the only thing that you know that I have doubts about is like the reliability of these earnings, you know, because look at the EPS and the reporting between the reporting and the estimate. There is a huge deviation between the two, you know, so maybe you cannot rely, you know, to this data too much, you know, because the last estimate was minus 0.31 and the reported was minus 1.35. You know, this is a very negative surprise factor that is not normally positive, you know, in the stock. And actually, look at what happened afterwards. You know, the downturn followed, minus 50%, minus 60.
Yeah, very interesting information. Let us know in the comments all you want about it. I was checking the live to see if it was working correctly. If you have comments, please share them live. I'm reading the chat, so I will answer you if you comment there. And also in the post-production video, we will also answer those comments and read it maybe in the next video if you share very interesting information about these particular stocks. Right, so let's continue with the last one.
Let's go with Nvidia. Let's analyze actually the best stock of Wall Street, I would say. And this is very important, guys. We're going to actually talk also about the insider skinner of Nvidia, because, you know, they're selling shares, but right now, not so much during this downtrend. And this is very important, you know, because for me, there is a theory behind it. It's like whenever there is a downtrend, and, you know, people within the company, Nvidia or whatever stock, they usually don't sell shares because they think that it's gonna rebound for the long term, you know, and they normally sell shares when it's making new highs, you know, they realize these profits, but they are not doing that right now.
Yeah, very interesting. You know, the insider screener is always a nice way to see at the inside part of those companies, and in this case with these very important companies, it's not the same as with the small ones, you know, because sometimes they are just taking profits from long uptrends. Remember that this stock has been going up. If we go back to the chart, you can clearly see, if we put automatic and logarithmic in the yearly time frame, you can see the rocket right there, you know. Look at the price action. We are talking about sometimes 5 consecutive green years with some movements of more than 200% in year-to-date percentages. So this is insane, you know, like sometimes you have to take profits, and in this type of stocks, it's very easy to do so, you know, because it's very easy to be in profits if you bought in the early years, in the early stages of this company. Right now, we have very interesting information right there. Let's comment it.
Yeah, we don't have many stocks with a performance like Nvidia. Maybe it's the only one, you know, and this is very relevant. Let's read the news, you know, the breaking news of Nvidia. They plan to use, you know, Wistron's US facility to build AI servers worth 500 billion over 4 years, including supercomputer plants in Texas with Foxconn and Wistron. You know, they are investing, they are continue in this pursuit to make more profits, which is insane, because if you analyze the quarterly net incomes of the last years, it's insane, you know, 31 billion in October 2025. I mean, this is insane.
Wow. Yeah. Also, we have the next headline right there. Foxconn reported a 35.5% year-on-year revenue rise in January, reaching about $23 billion, fueled by high demands for servers using NVIDIA chips. You know, the situation with the chips in this sector is crucial, and this company has a lot of advantage on it, and you know, you can see that also in the results. So very interesting information. And also the last one, NVIDIA's annual revenue in Singapore increased tenfold to $23.7 billion for the 12 months ending January 2025, compared to figures from January 2023. So better results in that sense. Maybe they are also related in the price, at least today, more than 7% to the upside. Will it continue, and will this be another positive in the year-to-date perspective or not? How do you see that?
And let's take a look at the forecast, Enrique, because I'm just checking right now that it's gonna be even better, more insanity in this stock in terms of profits. Look at the EPS that is forecasted right here, 1.52, the best ever. We're expecting more than probably 40 billion of net income in 1 quarter, you know. But the most important thing is not only this, you know, it's like if this trend continues, look at the expectations that we have by the end of 2028. We're talking about an EPS 4 times more, you know, bigger than the current one in 2024. How much is that? 120 billion? I mean, this is completely insanity.
Wow, very interesting. And you have also the numbers right there of 60 analysts offering that 1 year price forecast, and the average being plus 40% since current prices, the maximum 134% more or less, and the minimum at $140 minus 24%. And you can see the analyst rating 57 strong buys, 10 buys, 6 hold, and 1 strong sell. So very interesting, this forecast, very bullish also from the EPS perspective. How do you see that, guys? Do you agree with it? Do you have a different ideas? Let us know some different ideas. Let us know in the comments below. And being this said, let's go with the seasonal chart for this company, because we have, you can see right there the year-to-date percentages. A few years in the negative territory and many years in the positive. You know, you have to pick the right years in order to get those profits.
Actually, let's grab more data, you know, for instance, for 2014. And you can clearly see that we only have 2 really bad years over a period of 12 years, which is, you know, again, insane. We're talking about in 2028, in 2018, it was a minus 33%. In 2022, it was a minus 51%. But look at the rest of the years, more than 200%, more than 200, more than 178. This is completely insane. In terms of performance, it's beautiful. And actually, if we go to the chart comparison chart, look at the chart in performance by month. This is even more better. This is even better. You know, if the best month to buy NVIDIA, according to this data, is May, interestingly, which is very, you know, it's not very soon, but it's coming in 3 months or 4, yeah.
Yeah, also February is not a bad one from this data, you know, 9 rises and 4 falls. And in the negative sense, since this date, we have only December, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and if we take data, let's take it since 1999 till today.
Wow, that's a lot.
Let's see if there is any month in negative. I think no. Yeah, in January it's in negative.
January,
11 rises and 16 falls. Very interesting.
Yeah, actually, in the first period, not lately, but in the first decade of between 2000 and 2010,
exactly.
It was like a pretty bad month. So trends change, that's for sure. And the performances that you can clearly see right here on the right side, they're very similar. You know, it's like look at the first decade of 2000. You know, it's like there again you can clearly see in 1 year 2001 300%, 100%, 100%. So very similar performance as current days. This is very interesting.
Very interesting data. Feel free to share anything else in the comment section. You know, nothing else to add about this stock. I think we have to wait and see if this continues to be so, or if a different different situation starts in this type of markets. Very bullish day today. We commented many stocks. Check the live right here. You can see it right now, and also other videos in our channel, TradeNHD. We love you. In the next videos, feel free to share. While we're going live, while we're going live, feel free to share the comments, all the feedback. We will read it and answer you, and maybe start that conversation. This is the idea also behind this type of videos. And for the other content, comment below and we will read it when we can. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. Take care.